What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to talk about Elden Ring Nightreign and whether this game is for you or if you should skip it and save your hard-earned clams. So let's jump into it. I think that a lot of reviewers miss the mark when it comes to recommending a game based on if the audience will like it or not. Like, sure, I guess if you're a big enough personality, people care about what you as the content creator think about a game, but most consumers want to know, is this product for me? In today's climate, gamers have more choices than ever, and with indie games upstaging a lot of AAA companies, it's getting harder and harder for players to choose where to spend their time and money. I'm going to do my best to recommend or not recommend this game based on you as the viewer and not so much my own feelings or experience with the game. So, is Elden Ring Nightreign for you? Well, that really depends on a few things. For me, the answer to that question was a resounding yes, which is one of the reasons why I'm going to try to be objective in this review. I'm a huge From Software fan. I even have a Dark Souls bonfire tattooed on my forearm. I'm also a huge fan of roguelike games, so I feel like this game was literally made for me. It's two of my favorite game types combined into one. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, are you a fan of roguelike games, or have you ever played a roguelike game? For those of you who may not know, the roguelike category gets its namesake from the original game, Rogue, which came out in 1980. True rogue games, there is nothing that carries over from run to run, and once you die or beat the game, the run is over and you have to start over from the beginning. Roguelikes have the same general idea where if you die or beat the game, you have to start a new game over from the very beginning. But the main difference between a true rogue game and a roguelike is there are things in a roguelike that will carry over to subsequent runs, usually in the form of power-ups, weapons, or powers that will make your next run just a little bit easier. Elden Ring Nightreign gets its roguelike elements from each character's relics. Each character has several different goblets which can allow the character to equip up to 3 different relics, and there are different colors of relics. There are green, red, yellow, and sometimes colorless. Each of these relics do different things. Some of them are stronger than others, and once you equip them on your character, they stay on your character until you either remove them or equip a different one. So as you get stronger relics, your character gets stronger progressively, and it makes the other runs a little bit easier, hence where the roguelike comes in. So if you're a casual fan of roguelikes, you will very much enjoy this element of Nightreign. Though if you're a die-hard roguelike player like myself, you might find Nightreign to be a little bit repetitive. For the most part, the best powers or weapons are pretty obvious, and when you get them, there really isn't much room for niche or off-meta strategies, which I think is a cornerstone to a good roguelike. I've got close to 2,000 hours in Slay the Spire, and the big thing that keeps me coming back to that game is, for the most part, every single run is different, especially on the harder difficulties. So if you're in love with the power fantasy of RPGs or ARPGs where your character gets progressively stronger until you basically are in Ultra Instinct mode, you have the best items, the best equipment, the best stats, all of that stuff, then you might not really care for starting each run off at level 1. I've heard a lot of reviewers calling Nightreign Fortnite but Dark Souls, and I guess that's kinda true. But if you've never played a Souls game, haven't played one in a long time, or if you're just not good at Souls games, you're going to have a pretty rough time with Nightreign. Sure, there are definitely some skills that transfer over to Nightreign from playing games like Fortnite or Tarkov, but the learning curve for Souls titles is notoriously very steep. There's a reason why the phrase "get good" is commonly used in Souls communities. So if you've never played a Souls game before, or it's been a while since you play one, I highly recommend you pick up another title before giving Nightreign a go. And you might be saying, well, Grom, why do I need to play another game before playing Nightreign? And the reason is Nightreign just doesn't hold your hand at all. I mean, really no Souls games do, But Nightreign takes it up another notch because it just assumes that you already know the basis that the game is based on. You have an idea of what most of the weapons do, or their types, at least their types. Like you can look at a colossal weapon and a dex weapon and know the difference. You can look at a sorcery or an incantation and you can know the difference. The different types of enemies, different bosses, all of that sort of thing. If you're coming in completely fresh into the Souls universe and you've never played a Souls game, not only are you having to learn the backbone that the game was built on, but now you're also having to learn Nightreign's pacing, which is just ridiculously fast. So in other Souls titles, if you're having a hard time on a particular boss or an area, you can leave and come back. Or you can go get a couple levels, go power level a little bit and come back. You can try out different weapons and spells on a whim whenever you like. You're not really on a time clock to progress. You can do everything at your own pace. Nightreign is not like that at all. You are already behind as soon as you drop into the game. The pace is go, 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 and even a 1 minute delay can mean the difference between you downing the Night Lord and not downing the Night Lord. You already have to know what your character does, what kind of weapons or spells you want to use, and a general idea of where to get them at. You can obviously just push through this. I'm not telling anybody not to play the game, but just understand you're going to have a really steep learning curve because you don't know the basis of the game. So not only are you learning Nightreign, you're also learning Elden Ring too. So, and if you're playing with randos, they're more than likely to just leave if you're completely clueless. The last question you have to ask yourself is, do you have any friends to play with regularly? Nightreign is highly balanced around 3-person co-op, and while there is a single player campaign, it's not balanced at all towards just one player, meaning that you have to already be pretty good at FromSoft titles in order to tackle the game solo. So if you don't have any friends to play with, your options are pretty limited to either grouping with randoms, which I highly don't recommend, or playing solo, which I also don't recommend unless you're already really good at FromSoft games. There is a Nightreign Discord that's got about 20,000 members in it the last time I checked, which makes the game a little bit easier for finding a group, at least on PC. I'll post the link in the description of this video in case anyone is interested in checking it out. So if you checked yes to all of those boxes, then I definitely think that you should check Nightreign out. I love this game. It's super, super fun. The only complaints I really only have 2 major complaints, and the first one is I wish there was a bit more variety in the power-ups, or at the very least, you couldn't get power-up choices that have nothing to do with your class. An example, getting increased guard counter damage on a Revenant, or getting reduced FP cost on Guardian or Raider. The second major gripe that I have with the game is the matchmaking, and let's be honest, it wouldn't be a From Software game if the multiplayer wasn't just absolute dog water. I mean, FromSoft games have always had bad multiplayers. It's just been the history of the series. I think it's just getting a little bit more attention now, though, because that is the basis of this game, right? Like it is a online game. So the thing to keep in mind, though, is that this is the first time that From Software has done a game like this, so I would imagine that they're planning on fixing some of these player concerns. They have already stated that they do plan on adding new character classes, so I would imagine that they would probably patch the game too. Any issues that the game is having, bugs, adjusting character classes, adding new content, things like that. So I don't think this is a lost cause. I mean, the game is great even with the flaws that it has. I'm just hoping that FromSoft can make it better, which I've never been disappointed with a FromSoft product. And yes, even Dark Souls 2. I know a lot of people hate Dark Souls 2. It definitely has its problems, but it's got a special place in my heart as well. So I guess the TLDR for this review is if you like FromSoft games, or you like roguelike games, or you like both of those things, and you have a group of friends to play with, then this game is an absolute blast. But if you don't like either of those things, and if you're queuing solo, I probably wouldn't recommend this game. If you like the idea of starting off at level 1, doing an Elden Ring boss rush with the boys, while adapting your build to what you find, then this is the game for you. If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, as it really does help with the YouTube algorithm. I make weekly content about various gaming topics like gaming news, game reviews, build guides, stuff like that. Until next time, have a great day/night. See ya.